So a lot of you have been asking me what it's like to drive my Nissan Skyline GT-R, and I've been holding off because I wanted to get a lot of seat time before I gave a thorough review. But I've had the car for about a month now, so I think it's time to show you what it's really like to drive this newly imported Nissan Skyline GT-R. Now, before we get started, I should fully admit, with full disclosure, that I was not particularly excited for this car. The readers kind of talked me into buying it, and I wasn't really looking forward to it or even thinking about it when it was on the water. And when it showed up, I was on vacation, and I kind of delayed sending the check, and I didn't really care. But I had very low expectations. I thought it would just be a 25-year-old Japanese car. And as I'm driving it now, today, a month later, I couldn't be happier that it is a 25-year-old Japanese car. For a 25-year-old car, acceleration is surprisingly strong. Interestingly, acceleration feels to me certainly easier to attain when you're already at 30 or 40 miles an hour. Drop your foot. You're really launched back. It's crazy. Here's the thing about the brakes. They stop the car. Sometimes they squeak. I don't know anything about brakes. Okay, so let's talk handling. For as good as I think acceleration is, handling is so sweet. It is so planted, it is so capable, it doesn't feel old, it doesn't feel cushy, there's no body roll, there's no body lean, it just goes where you want, and it is amazing. It's not that there's no emotion to it. It feels like it could kick you in the ass, it just isn't gonna, and that's amazing. But my favorite thing about this car is actually not acceleration or handling, it's the steering feel. On a modern car, you know, steering is so light, and this car's not like that at all, and yet it's not too heavy like in a Lotus where you're like, must steer. This car is actually the perfect balance between that. It's really, really impressive how good this feels even after 25 years. This car is the definition of the phrase, why don't they build them like this anymore? Here's the other thing. I'm not really giving up all that much to drive this car. I've got the air on right now. I got my CD in. You know, it's got power windows, power locks, power mirrors, four-wheel drive for the snow. I suppose it would be hard to get it serviced at a Nissan dealership. Even in traffic, it's surprisingly easy. The clutch is light, the brakes are normal, the car is normal, the AC's on, it behaves just like any other vehicle. For 25 grand, it would be hard to convince me to get a Focus ST or a BRZ over this. Of course, it would also be hard to convince me to drive right-hand drive every day. The car is so much fun to drive, you really wish it weren't right-hand drive because you know that's going to prevent you from enjoying it to its absolute fullest. I've now had 4 cars for this whole jalopnik deal. I had a CTS-V station wagon, I had the Ferrari, and then that giant yellow thing. and this is by far the one that I have been most excited to climb inside every day. So now you know what it's like to drive a Nissan Skyline GT-R. And if you'll excuse me, I'm going to continue to do so.